Hello, hello, hello. I was going to read the Writer's Almanac from Sunday, February the 6th, and I've tried 3 times now to read the poem by Miller Williams, and it's like the University of Arkansas has just decided, and the University of Arkansas God has decided I'm not supposed to do it because each time something's gone wrong with the recording. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. And after 3 times, you get the point where God doesn't want me to read this goddamn thing, so I'm not going to read it. Um, I love Miller Williams too, and it is what it is. So we're on to the next day, which is Monday, February. Oh, I'm sorry. Today is the 6th, isn't it? Let me make sure. Yes, it was the 5th that I was supposed to read. And so today is Monday, February the 6th, and I'm going to read from the Writer's Almanac, Garrison Keillor's wonderful program. It's the birthday of the man who wrote, "Come live with me and be my love, and we will all the pleasures prove." It's Mr. Christopher Marlowe. He was born in Canterbury, England in 1564. He's the author of plays such as The Jew of Malta in 1590 and Dr. Faustus in 1594. And he was one of the first prominent playwrights of his lifetime. He was a child prodigy and he managed to get into Corpus Christi College in Cambridge, even though he was the son of a shoemaker. His school records show that he was frequently absent from class because he was working for Queen Elizabeth's Secret Service. There is some evidence he continued to work as a secret agent for the Queen for the rest of his life. In the 1590s, while he was producing his plays, church officials began to accuse him of espousing atheism, a charge that is punishable by torture. On May 18, 1593, a warrant was issued for his arrest, but he died in a fight over a bar bill before the police could find him. Today is the birthday of television journalist Tom Brokaw, who authored the NBC Nightly News for more than 2 decades, from 1982 to 2004, and he was born in Webster, South Dakota in 1940. What a career. He wrote a book called The Greatest Generation, published in 1998, a term he coined about the men and women who came of age in the Great Depression, served in World War II, and laid the foundation to rebuild the economy. And maybe they are. It's the birthday of journalist Michael Pollan. He was born in Long Island, New York in 1955, and he's the author of popular books like The Omnivore's Dilemma in 2006 and In Defense of Food, he wrote in 2008, in which he elaborates upon his guiding principle: eat food, not too much, mostly plants. It's the birthday of poet Deborah Diggs, born in Jefferson City, Missouri in 1950, one of 10 children of a doctor and a nurse. She studied art in college. She got married at the age of 19 to an Air Force pilot who went to Vietnam and had a child when she was 20. It was then that she first began to write poetry. She said, quote, "Kids keep you very close to experiences. You're kind of constantly thrown off track, and that's good for a poet." End quote. She went back, finished college, and then went on to the Iowa Writers Workshop. She taught at several universities and published 4 poetry collections: Vesper Sparrows in 1986, Late in the Millennium in 1989, Rough Music in 1995, and Trapeze in 2004, all of them winning major prizes. She wrote 2 memoirs, Fugitive Spring in 1989 and The Stardust Lounge, Stories from a Boy's Adolescence, published in 2000. Once, she and her husband had been driving and saw a cow on the side of the road struggling to give birth. The calf was coming out the wrong way and probably wouldn't have survived, so she and her husband jumped out of the car to help deliver the calf. She wrote a poem about it, The Birthing, which happened to appear in The New Yorker in October 2006. She wrote, "With his whole weight he pushed the calf back in the mother, and grasped the other leg tucked up like a closed wing against the new one's shoulder. And he found a way in the warm dark to bring both legs out into the world together. Then heaved and pulled, the cow arching her back until a bull calf in a whoosh of blood and water came falling whole and still onto the meadow. Wow. I'll be honest with you, that's enough poem right there. Here's a poem by Jack Ridl. It's called The Equipment Man's Wife. Seldom goes to a game, is used to dinner alone, keeping what's left warm for when he gets home. She loves to go to the movies, tunes the radio to the oldie station as she goes through her day. She reads. When they were in high school, they sat in the top row at every home game, his arm draped over her shoulder. No PDA, their parents told them. They didn't care. They married a week after graduation. He took a job at the tire store. They raised 2 daughters, both now married, kids of their own, living a day's drive away. 2 years with tires was enough. He took the job at the high school, picked up the nickname Jeep. She thinks about getting a new bedroom suite, some art for the living room walls. Family photographs hang about the fireplace, sit on the mantel. She knows how to make it through the winter with her books, her knitting, her way of leafing through a magazine. Sometimes they go for a drive on the weekend. She likes to point out houses she would love to live in. The Equipment Man's Wife by Jack Ridl from Losing Season, published by Cavan Carey Press. In 2009, reprinted with permission for the Writer's Almanac. And as Garrison Keillor always says at the end of his broadcasts, be well, do good work, keep in touch.